Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, we just completed the nacelle last time, and we also spray painted the lower engineering hull. So I'm gonna take the tape off here. See if I can hold up to the camera there. So we sprayed up this section right here, because that's where it had us paint to. That's where it had us paint us, so you'd have a little bit of contrast color there. Those pieces, those are those. So we're gonna take the tape off here. You know what, actually, give me a second here. There. Let's do it like this. Take the tape off here. Now, as you can see really different. You can really see the contrast right there between this section and this section. I kind of screwed it up just a little bit on this area right there, because I put on a little too much spray paint. It started a little puddle there with it, so I was like, great. So I tried to clean it up. Didn't go over too well. Just need to grab my knife here. It's a little different from being having my face behind the camera here. So I'll take this right out of here. I also just got a new model today, so I'll be showing you guys that as well. So, you're probably wondering, why does this guy have so many models? I was like, well, this one, I just kind of wanted it, honestly. And there are some days where you just want to buy a new model. The question is, when you're going to get to it. And, yeah, you ask yourself that question. You probably get asked that question as well, but that's okay. The thing is, you will get to them. You just need some time, especially if work kind of bogs you down a little bit. So, there it is. Again, you can see the contrast between this section and the other section. Okay, so that's one piece. Come here. Here's the other piece. It actually did a lot better on this side when I did it. Let's see here. Come here. Come on. Trying to keep it in focus. A few guys here. Okay. Maybe I wonder if I should film all this on a different area. I might, just so I'm not trying to fight just so I'm not trying to fight it. Trying to keep it in focus, so I'm not trying to fight that. So get this here. Come on. Let's get this here. I put on so much tape that it's having trouble coming off. Come on. Come on, get the knife right up in there. Oh, dang, nabbit. Come on. Like for me, when I mask things off, I want it masked off. That way, it's like if you accidentally over spray paint over spray paint just a little bit, you know that that area is covered. Alright. A little bit rough in there. There it is. You can see the contrast. See it lighter right here. Darker right up in here. Okay. That looks pretty good. A little rough in some areas, but it's pretty good. Let's pull this camera out just a little bit. Come on. So I mentioned last video that the clear orange here that I used for the Broussard collector for this guy. What we're gonna do, actually I'm gonna pull this over here. We're gonna turn the camera one more time. Maybe not one more time, but we're gonna pull it to the other side. Pull it here. So, like, look at that. The color. Look at that. If I can just put my hand here, but look at that. Those colors look identical. So those two colors actually work in tandem pretty well, and I quite like it actually. So I'm excited to kind of put those side by side when this is finished. I'm almost finished with it. Nacelle number 2, I've spray painted these pieces right here, these 3 guys. If I can find the 3rd one. I spray painted all 3 of these long pieces. I have spray painted these 2 parts and the end piece right there. I spray painted that. I've got all 5 of those parts there. And then after that, I do intend to spray paint the Broussard collector after I mask it up indeed. I'll do some things off camera. I was thinking about doing something. I was gonna do after that last video was done, thinking about doing the spray painting and then masking it off, but I didn't get to it. So that'll be done later off camera. I did test fit these 2 guys here. So how does it go? Okay, so Kidoki. So on the manual here, you see this little circle right in there. Where that pops in, you just look at, just shows the instructions that is pointed towards the back end of the ship. So, and you'll notice you have, let's see, 2 like a half oval shape. That bigger side points towards the front of the ship. So, and I did test fit this in here. There we go. So that's about what it's gonna look like. Let's pick that up there. So about something like that. No engineering hole, obviously. So I just kind of finished up painting. I had to paint just a little bit more pieces for the dish here. That's painted up. I did not paint up this part that goes through the radar dish. I have a couple of the parts here, but it's just a lot of painting here. So it's just one nacelle to paint up and glue. Engineering's practically done, almost, in a sense. I just spray painted this up. This is for where the dish is going to set. So that's pretty much done, but still drying just a little bit. Looks pretty good. So, going pretty good on that. I don't know if I do put the botany bay together. I will have to most definitely go and watch that particular episode to see how it looks on TV. I think all the episodes were remastered, I believe, because you go and look at it, it's like, oh, this episode remastered just a little bit. I'm pretty sure because like old colors. And that, and like just old filming not techniques, but colors, how colors came across on TV. I believe that's why it was probably remastered. The colors probably got very, very dull, or they looked dull. So I believe they were remastered. I think that's about it for models. Again, I'm very, very excited to see how this will look finished. I'm very excited for it. Yeah, that's it for the models. This may be a short video. I may mask up a couple of pieces here on camera. I may mask up this here on camera to kind of show you what I do. I'm going to clean this up just a bit. Before I actually do that, how does it look? It looks okay. That looks pretty. Yeah, let's clean that up. Go. I had thought about actually writing down some. What was his name? I can't remember his YouTube I can't remember his YouTube channel, but he does a lot of Star Trek models, any model, Klingon, Romulan, Federation, that sort of thing. He does some Star Wars. He's got some Star Wars there, but his main thing is Star Trek. And one of the things he likes to do is light them up with little lighting kits you can buy with just like lights them up. He loves to light them up, and they look fantastic when they are lit up. So, and this model here that I'm about to show you, he did such a good job in lighting it up, and it's like he wasn't sure how this one was going to be done, but he did do it. So this was kind of this kit was part of, let's say, a line of 3 ships. The Shenzhou. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. It was part of also the Discovery, and this one came out, he was saying, like right at the end of season 1 when they was released. And those 3 kits are in the scale of 1/2500th scale. Now keep in mind, this is a 1/1000th scale. This is a 1/2500th scale. I'm about to show you here, and they're very, very small. Now, if I could remember his name, I would definitely highly recommend you to go look up this one. If I could remember his YouTube channel, that's one thing I want to do, is I want to write this stuff down and hopefully let you guys go check out these channels yourself. Because it's very, very good, and he delves into this model. I believe he also delves into the Shenzhou and the Discovery themselves, and they're very, very small models. Again, 1/2500th scale. That is how big it is. That is how big that kit is. And next, you know what? Let's get this open actually. Now, my Lego Enterprise model from Mini Trek Mox, the saucer section is a 6x6 circular piece. So if you think of that in Legos, again, 6x6 circular Lego piece compared to that guy right there. So what I'm gonna do, if you can we'll take it off here. That'll be hidden again. 6x6 round plate compared to the 1/2500th scale, and you're looking at about I want to say, how much is that? Almost, like, just setting it in the center. That's about probably, I want to say about 3/4 of an inch smaller. Again, 6x6 round plate up against a 1/2500 scale kit. I guess just a little bit bigger, about half to 3/4 of an inch longer and bigger than this guy. That is very, very small, and he managed to light that up. He managed to light that sucker up, and it looked really, really good. So, if I can remember his YouTube channel, I will definitely put that in the next video. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. You can find it in his playlist under this model kit. He's got all of his kits labeled. He's got all of his playlists labeled, and you'll be able to find this one pretty easily. And it's a very, very small kit. It's got, wow, they actually changed it. On his model kit, I believe it was the first revision that came out, they basically, here, let me turn this around so you're not having to read backward. Okay, so, what had happened is that on the Discovery, it said 301 millimeters long and about 12 inches long. This is not 12 inches long. It's about half the length of the Discovery, but a little bit longer than the Shenzhou. So again, about 7.5 inches long. It says. It was copied from the Discovery box, saying instead of this number right here for the Enterprise, it said 301. And that part said 12. So they copy and pasted that. They had a little. So this one doesn't have it. So there's your decals right there. It's fully set up for decals. There you go. Again, this is part of the Discovery universe, as you can see right up here. Turn it around here, and this is one of the things that I do like. This, I believe, was said from season 1, I think, from Strange New Worlds. So it looks really, really good. Turn it around here again. It's a Polar Lights model kit, so I intend on doing this. So again, when I start, hopefully when I do more of these videos, I hope to have a better schedule, because my job here, I am moving up to a full-time position sometime here soon. So I'll be doing a lot more of that, more hours, and we'll see what happens with everything, and hopefully I can get on a better, consistent basis, be able to give you guys some videos. That's kind of the plan there. And I do also plan on putting it up against the 1/1000 scales Strange New World Enterprise. Now, I will say that I do have a Strange New Worlds Lego model kit that I'll also be putting up against that. So it'll be really, really fun to do it, to see how small it is. Now, the one thing that it does have, that the pilot version also did have, are these guys. These end caps right here have divots or something in them, and that is seen on Strange New Worlds Enterprise and / Discovery version. So that's kind of cool to see as a Star Trek. As again, I had never watched much of TOS, just the episode Doomsday Machine, and seeing clips here and there. So that was a good episode. I know, was it the Constellation? You can find people taking, I believe, the 1/1000th version, 1/1000 scale TOS Enterprise model kit, and then just turn it into the Constellation. So I kind of want to do something like that. Just get more of those kits and just turn them into that. Just turn them into other Enterprises. So that'd be fun. I don't know. I don't know if I could pull off a damaged constellation. I don't think I've got the skills to go there just yet. So, but we'll see how everything turns out. So, these will be kind of the last models of my collection here. Again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 other models, but 6 after the Enterprise. But I've got some stuff prepared. Did I prepare that? Yeah, I prepared both these pieces. This is my charger. I did prepare both pieces. So that's pretty easy. This model kit is not very hard. Doesn't have many pieces. I've heard it's got very old tooling and just how it comes out from the injection mold that you have to clean a bunch of it off in order for it to look good. I think right now we can do a little bit of something here. So I'll turn the camera around. I'm turning the camera around a lot. Now, that's one thing I should do is get a background so so that way I'm not having trouble focusing with the camera and having everything in the back defocusing it. So I will show you here. Turn around. Okay. Focus up. Okay. So right here, this portion right here, I will mask. Did I mask that area off? No, never mind. So we're gonna turn it here. So right up to the top where these pieces end, right up there. That's how far we're gonna go up with masking it. How does it look? Now on the box there. Hang on. I skipped that song. So just not have, I don't know. I just decided to skip that song. Just keep a Star Trek theme, not having any Star Trek, like non-Star Trek music. Now it is Star Trek, but it was used in Star Trek Enterprise, so I don't want that to do anything. So we just skipped it. So now on the box art, it shows the paint, the gray paint covering right up to here, above the top of these prongs. Now, honestly, now I do understand that. That's interesting. Medium gray. Nope. Nope. Well, that's kind of interesting, honestly. I was having it go right up to that. Let's see. Where's the bottom of the box? Might as well use this. See what kind of what we're up against. Yep, that thing is correct. It goes right up to there. Yeah, so that paint on this guy should be a little bit higher. Instead of right down here at the top of the prongs, it should be higher up, just a little bit. Let's see here. Now, I think we're gonna do that. Now I gotta be really, really careful since I already painted up the other nacelle. I have to basically wrap it all in paint, in the tape that I need it to be. So It's even worse when it's in clear. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Looks pretty good. Now it might be a little bit rough when it comes from when I finally get it painted. That's a little bit hard. Okay. Just gonna cover up the top here. I never thought to look at the box. So, again, if you accidentally do the stupid thing the thing I did, just grab a bunch of tape and do it up. Just keep your areas nice and clean and all. Okay. What we're gonna do, since we've already got that all figured out, since we got that figured out, I'm just gonna basically take this tape and just start going around and around like that. Just making sure I get it all. I won't go too far down, but I'll need to do. But now that I see my mistake, I can definitely fix that up the best I can. Come on. There we go. I think we'll call that good. So I did about halfway down. And then I'm just gonna take my tape and do my best to match the area for the paint. Let's get that there. Once you've gotten kind of the first wave, once you've gotten the tape a little bit around, just kind of match it. Just kind of match like the track it's on. Match it. Now it's not going to turn out really, really well, just because now that I found the mistake, it's not going to look pretty at all. So I realize that. So we'll do our best with it. We'll be okay with that. So that. Where's my... Where would I put it? I have a pair of kind of... Here we go. For something like this, I use these guys, something like that. So, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm just gonna go. It's not gonna look pretty. We'll do our best with it. We'll do our best. Now it was, what was it? A light ghost spray. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it for a second, just so it can dry off. Okay, I had another pair of pliers that I could... It'd be nice to have another pair of pliers, honestly. So even with this amount of tape, I didn't even need that much, but it's always good to be safe if you have to redo it. Yeah. So. So that's kind of that thing. Even if it doesn't turn out the greatest, that's okay. I wonder if they have a Let's Go spray for paint. Now, paint would probably help in that regard. I'll hit it again later. I'll probably have to hit it again with another coat because I can already see the paint coming off, as you can see there. Come on, focus. There we go. You can see it. I'll tip it upside down. Probably not the greatest idea to do that. Great. Okay. Just gonna hold it up. Yeah. Just need something to hold it up. That should do it. That should be okay. So. Where'd that tape go? No, never mind. You don't have a handle, you just create one from tape. It's like take one piece of tape, fold it in, just stick it like so, and then just hold it. Like so. Pliers. Go. I'm just gonna hold it here for a second. So again, oh crap. Again, this is kind of my thing. This is kind of something that I hope these videos help people. Is if they're having trouble with paint where paint applications go or how pieces are glued in. So those are kind of the things that I would like for this channel to help people out if they're having trouble finding good videos or just anything in general. So if I could sit it, I don't know if I could. So just hold it like that. Like that. And then stick it. And just, I don't know why I'm doing that, but just stick it like that. So again, so that's it. So that's pretty much a lot. That's a lot of that stuff. I will be painting this guy. In fact, let's do it right here. See if I can get the camera pointed down here. Let's see. So we're using metallic copper, which paint. We're going to use good paintbrush. Yeah. It's always nice to have good. It's always good to have your best paintbrushes on hand for something like this, for the good details. And that paint is right here. So metallic copper for that. I believe that was correct. Yep. E. So we're gonna paint the inside of all this stuff here. There's a knife. I can shave off a little bit of this. There's even a bit of that stuff inside here. Come on. Go. Now, not too long ago, I watched a making of the movie, come on, the making of the motion picture, and it's the phases that it went through just to be made. It's like, you're like, wow, really? It wasn't something that was just like that was just like put together after a few months. Like, no, like this had, like, you had people, you had creative people kind of on the fence. They had people like disagree left and right, like Paramount, that kind of thing, CBS. There's a lot of people just like, okay, this idea is not going to work. That idea may work. Nope, nope. Yes, yes. No, no, kind of thing. So it's a very interesting, like listen to it. It's like, wow. I didn't realize that it went through that much crap. So And when the guy's talking about the video, again, this is a thing I want to do is make a list of YouTubers, good YouTubers who talk about a lot of Star Trek stuff. He is one of them. I can't remember his name again. He gives you like what the score sounds like. It's the original score for the scene of the Enterprise, and when you listen to it, it's how it would have been instead of what we got. The how it would have been sounds like it just when you listen to it, something's missing, and that's what they talk, and that's what they kind of came to that conclusion. Like, yeah, there is something missing here with this song. Like something's missing. And so they went back, and then the final version is what we got. And they finally figured that out. Like, there's no theme. That was the thing. Like, there's no theme to this. I don't know about that. But, yeah, there was no theme. So once they figured that out, I was like, okay, now I have something to work with. Was it Jerry Goldsmith? I can't remember who it is. Like, okay, no theme. Now I know. It's like, okay, now I can work with it. Something's wrong with this paint. I think I shook it. Hopefully this works a little bit better. Sometimes you gotta shake your paint. There we go. It looks better. Oh yeah, there we go. Looks a lot better. But yes, it was when you hear that words when the person who wrote the music, when he was told this, like, there is no theme. Like, everything has a theme nowadays, everything. And when he realized that, I was like, huh, okay, now I have something to work with. And the version is what we got. It's the theme of Star Trek. So it was a really fun to watch. Whenever there's like a Star Trek movie in development, at least in the sense of TOS movies and the Next Generation movies, it just seems like there was always something. There was always drama when it came to those movies. I know the TNG cast, when it came to Insurrection, like, that is their, like, movie wise, they're not a big. They had a really tough time with that movie. Mainly the director, who hadn't watched any Star Trek movie. Now again, who was it? When it came to doing to give an example, when it came to doing the motion picture, now writing it, I know the writer had it was. Like, it's good for people when they haven't, like, seen stuff or read something. That's good to have that fresh perspective. But the director for Insurrection, Nemesis, Star Trek Nemesis, is that, yes, he directed it, but the characters, like, I guess from what I heard, the characters aren't themselves. Like, they aren't themselves as you would see on the show. And that's what frustrated not only them, but also, I believe, the fans. Because, like, this isn't who they should be. And so you watch a lot of that, and even the actors themselves didn't like it very much. I think that's very low on their list. I can only assume that First Contact is one of their best ones. They probably like that one even more, because even people will cite that as one of the best ones of those 4 movies, because it was directed by Jonathan Frakes, who plays Commander Riker. So people do cite that one as the best one of those movies. So I apologize for my hand is in the way. So that's what it's looking like. I'm gonna take it around here. So every movie has its ups and downs, and Star Trek is no exception. So, and I know some of the TOS movies also had their fair share of setbacks, particularly with, oh, what was it? Star Trek 5, I believe. I know William Shatner directed that one, and even he said that it's like, yeah, it's not my greatest one. So, everyone collectively agrees that it's like, yeah, it's not the greatest movie. Because it could have been good. But a lot of things could have happened. Probably like writing or something, or just people in general just like disagreeing on how it should be at. And I know, oh, which one was it? The Undiscovered Country, or one of the TNG movies, not TNG, but TOS movies. I know. Gene Roddenberry did not like in the way it went, or something. I can't remember. And that's another thing about Star Trek fans and fans of IPs in general, that their creators, we think of them as these godlike beings who know better. But in reality, they don't. They're just like us. They're just normal humans. Now, crucify me if you want. And that's okay. I was talking with one of my coworkers about this, and he was talking about how, let's transition to say Star Wars, is that George Lucas, yes, he is the creator of Star Wars, but let's use the prequels. Is that, what's he saying? Is that the reason why it's kind of mishmashed? Is it? But he did have director control, or was it writing? But yeah, even he, as a human being, is flawed. Like, I heard that they had to do several changes with his scripts that were given. So, not every creator of a franchise is immune to criticism, or is immune, or they're not perfect. I'll say that. They who knows? We hear from people and we assume that the creators of certain IPs are these godlike people, and they're really not. They're just normal people, and sometimes they just may not know what they're doing. So, don't want to crucify me about that. Go right ahead, that's fine. But people have this idea that they are. That's kind of sad. Yes, we love movies. Let's stick with movies. We love the movies that come from our favorite shows or our favorite books, and even then, the creator of said IP probably won't like it, but it's liked by a majority of other people. or those creators, or the creators of shows or books or movies, like they're so good, they turn out so good that people, um, it's like, don't you say anything about them, otherwise we'll call you X, Y, and Z names. It's like, why? And it's kind of like that. Let's use Star Wars again for an example. My buddy and I he and I were talking about these. How in books, Luke, like, afterwards, after the Empire, after Episode 6, like he was still a great Jedi and all. Like he was the best thing. He was the hero of everything. He is a hero. I realize that, but what people didn't like is that when they finally saw him back on screen in Episode 8, I was like, why is he a failure? This and that. It's like, he's a hero. It's like, even our heroes fail at some point in their life, and that is what I think people fail to recognize, is that that's just a part of life. Sometimes we're at a high point, sometimes we're at a low point, and sometimes we do things that have people praise us, but there are times where circumstances make us feel like a failure. So, and even our heroes in books, movies, TV shows, even our favorite heroes, they are going to fail. And the idea of not seeing them at their failures is just like, why do we have to continue to see them great when they're already great? Where are their failures as a person? Like, how do they act? Like, who are they now at their lowest? And I think that's what people fail to see, is that it's okay to see them at their lowest. Even it might give us a little bit of insight into it. Like, we get to see them because we're following along. We're following them along on this journey. And yes, we are going to see them. We're not going to see them at their high point. And that's also another thing. I was also watching a video. Small channel. He's a small Halo channel. He talks about video games, and Halo is one of them. And he was talking about Halo 4. And you see Master Chief, in 1, 2, and 3. He's this hero. He's this grand hero and everything. And Halo 4, you see him when he fails. Like, yes, he failed to do X, Y, and Z in the other games. But in this game, you see him fail. In Halo 4, you see him fail. You see him as a different person. And I think people need to understand that we cannot just continue to see our heroes here. Like, they're not immune to failure. It may look like they're immune to it, but we all fail at some point in our life. We're all going to feel like failures. We're all going to feel like screw-ups. We will all feel like that, and such is the case that with movies these days, that people do not want to see us. We don't want people to see us at our weakest, because we don't know how they're going to judge us. And let's use Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, people have their heated debates on that movie. And what you see him at his very, very lowest. And it's sad to see him like that. Like, there's not much drive in him. his joy in archaeology is not there that much. That he is. The world is moving by him so quickly. It is leaving. His passion for archaeology is being left in the dust. And other circumstances also made him feel like a failure as a father. And he doesn't know how he can continue to live. And it's only because of his goddaughter, Helena, however you say it. I know one YouTuber is saying it's like Helena, however you say it, but it's because of her that he got to go on one more adventure, although kind of forced. He was kind of forced to. He had to go on it in order to kind of set things straight back in the US because of that. But he got to go on one more adventure. He got to use his knowledge as an archaeologist to move everything forward, to finally get to the end. And though he is still feeling and though he is still kind of at his lowest, he does hold himself just a little bit higher than he did than how he was before, because he got to go on one last adventure. And that's our heroes. If we just see them always at their highest, what will we learn from them when they're at their weakest? So, that was kind of an interesting talk he and I had about that. It's like, what can we learn from them? Not only at their highest, but also at their lowest. So, before you guys go and crucify Dial of Destiny or episodes 8 and 9 or any of those kind of things, or even Picard, I know people say it's like he's a weak old man. It's like he wants to. It's like, yeah, in season 3 he said he was waiting to die at the vineyard. Picard said that himself in season 3 at the end. Like he was waiting to die. But circumstances outside of our lives, whether intentionally or unintentionally, kind of bring us back into who we were before. Such as Picard, it sent him out exploring the galaxy a little bit. Like, it brought him back into that. And it brought him back into what he loved and what Picard loved doing. He was an explorer. In TNG, he was an explorer. He was a captain. And that brought him, and those 3 seasons brought him back into that. The first 2 seasons definitely brought him back into exploring things, to grapple with certain things happening, and what he, and it brought it those kind of circumstances, they bring us back to what made us what we were. It brought us back to who we can be. And even though life kicks us in the rear end and kicks us down so hard that it feels like we can't get back up, there are times that something comes along, whether intentionally or unintentionally, that brings our spirit, that brings us back up. It helps elevate us to a feeling that we didn't have before. So again, before you go crucifying movies, shows, or any of those things, just think about it. That, such as the director Rian Johnson, for the last 2 movies of the sequel saga, is that sometimes, and even James Mangold for Dial of Destiny,
is that, and even Harrison Ford handpicked James Mangold. He wanted him. He wanted him to be the director of Dial of Destiny, because it allows us to see our heroes differently. So that little rant there is to tell you guys is that our heroes of our favorite TV shows, favorite movies, they're all going to fail. We will all fail at probably many points. Not even one point, but at many points in our life, we will feel like a failure. But in those failures, a lesson can most likely be found, or it may have us think back on our past life and even help us look at life. Sometimes maybe 2 years go by, or even a couple years, or even most of our life, and maybe we look at it and probably took things for granted, our life for granted, or took a lot of things for granted. And maybe, just maybe, we can hopefully go back and just those moments when we feel like a failure, when we feel like crap, or when we're down in the dump. Hopefully that those moments for all of us can help us reflect on life and to look at and ask ourselves, like, how can I, instead of moving at a fast pace to which the world is, and that's an unfortunate thing that how the world is moving so fast, is that how can we live in the moment? How can we not just live for ourselves, but how can we live for others? How can we serve others? And not only that, I'm going to bring it in my face, like, how can I serve God in every moment of my life? How can I do that? And maybe it may be in our job. It may be just probably a lot in my job. Like, how can I serve him? How can I, when I do these things, how can I do it out of love? How can I serve him? And I've actually been going through Romans, and there are a lot of things where I see that, and I read that, and I was like, oh crap, I displayed a lot of that, or all of it, all of those things. And it really, it's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener every time when I look at that, and I think, dang, that was me. That's me, right there. And it really gives you a perspective. Like, it gives you a perspective when you're down in the dump, when you feel like a failure. Maybe those moments are to help us reflect, or maybe even sometimes in, say, in movies, there are even circumstances or other people that force us to look at our lives and just make us rethink, and just those kind of things to help us reflect on life and what can we do to better ourselves? What can we do to make it worth living? And reflection has always been a big part of me. I'm not greatest at it, but I've always kind of seen. I've watched a lot of things happen in my life. Even when I see my older siblings, the things I wanted to do, but I look at it later in life as like, I don't even know if I want to do that. I don't even know if I want to do this. And it just the things you had, the aspirations, and yeah, there's still some dreams, childlike dreams, and that's okay. But some things that you did want to do, such as me when I was a kid, I wanted to join the military, and seeing how it, um, seeing how my brothers came out, a couple of them, and just looking at them, I mean, just seeing what happened to them, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm okay. I'm good. Or even seeing, like, just things outside, just seeing things that other people do. And I was like, and you really get a sense. You get a sense of what the world is like, and what it does, and how it treats us. And you reflect, you look at that, you reflect on what they have done, and it's like, okay, what do I want to do? And yes, we will, sometimes life will kick us in the rear end, and maybe that's an opportunity for someone to look at that as like, okay, what can I do? What can this person do when they look at my mistakes? Like, how can they look at that, and how can they avoid those mistakes in the future? We're always looking at a figure of authority, an older sibling, a friend, and we look at their mistakes, and it's like, what can I do to change, to avoid those mistakes? Like, we're always learning from somebody. And even when we fail, like, failure is a part of life. We can get ourselves back up, or there's someone else who comes alongside us and helps us with that. Like, life is, and again, with movie characters, what's the point of seeing them at their highs when we don't even see them at their lows? So, I want you all to think about that. We see them at their highs. Who are they at their lowest? And even in The Wrath of Khan, you see Kirk wallowing about his room when Bones visits him. And he wants to get back in command. He wants to get in command of the Enterprise. He is an admiral at that point. And even he is hesitant when he finally, before he does get command back in The Wrath of Khan, he speaks with Spock, one of his oldest friends. Even he speaks with him. He is very hesitant to take back command. And he goes to Spock, not only wanting to talk to his friend, but sees him as a confidant, in the sense like Bones. But in this case, they're both officers. They're both of that command. Spock is a captain. Kirk is a admiral, and he does want to captain the ship, but he is at an uneasiness about it. And his friend there helps him take charge, in that he can finally put all those things. He helps him take back command of the. He helps him take back command of the Enterprise. And even Bones says to him straight up, is that he tells him, take back command of your ship before you really grow old. And yes, Kirk was old, but he was literally, you could see him, wallowing. He was very much down in the dump. And when we see that, we look at that and it's like, we don't think anything of it. But when we see our other heroes, such as in the series Picard, or we see Luke in Star Wars, or even Indiana Jones, for that matter, we look at that and it's like, why aren't they at their highest? Like, because they feel like crap, because they feel like a failure in some point in their life, or they're just waiting to die, and they want to get back into it, but is the world, can we go back to it? Can we go back? The world moves by so quickly, and we ask ourselves, they probably ask themselves this question. Even Kirk and Spock pondered this question in the movie The Undiscovered Country. It was the 6th movie in the TOS movies. Have we outlived our usefulness? That I believe is the question. Or can we even come back? And how will people see us when we come back into that profession, or come back to just anything in that matter? Or even in Picard's case, is the galaxy, how would you say that? But like, I don't know how to phrase it. I don't know how to phrase the question, but is there room left for some of us who have felt like we've been left behind? Is there any room left for us? And sometimes we have to, and in those shows that Picard had to push his way. He had to do things himself without Starfleet. He had to go out and do that stuff without their hand, even when they ignored him. He had to go out there and do it, even when he didn't have his friends right beside him. He made new friends. He had to go back to some old friends. Like, we all probably pondered that question. People will ponder that question. We will all ponder that question one day. In our jobs, in our life. But I think for all of us, it's a moment to reflect on how we lived our lives. And how can we make the rest of our life better? Or how can we make a difference in someone else's life? So even in our lowest, there is still something that life can teach us. There is still something that God can teach us. Even if it's something we don't want to hear. God's up there probably thinking, it's like, there is still more to be taught. Even, it's like, you don't want to hear it, but I'm still gonna show you something new. So, if you ever watch any of those movies again, I want you all to just kind of look at it and just kind of what if that's us someday? Ask the question. I know there are probably a lot of people who don't think about the what ifs, but it's a good thing to wonder, like, the what ifs. What if it were me in that situation? What if I were like that? What if I grew old and grumpy like that? It's the what ifs that give us just a little bit of glimpse, and will probably help us try to look at life and try to live in the moment, and not just trying to move